Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm Father Evagoras. I'm happy to welcome all of you here today. At this time, it is my pleasure to welcome our spiritual leader of the Greek community here in New York and in America, His Eminence Archbishop Elpidophoros of America, for opening prayer and remarks.
Λοιπόν, να κάνουμε προσευχή, όπως πάντοτε. Let us bow our heads in prayer. We give thanks to you, O God, for this day of celebration of grace and orthodoxy by the city of New York. We express our gratitude to Mayor Adams and to all his co-workers who serve the good people of New York. Sustain their efforts, prosper our city, keep all our police, fire, and emergency responders safe, and grant unto us to live in peace, in safety, and abundance through your loving grace. Amen. Αγαπητοί μου πατριώτες και πατριώτισσες, dear Mayor Adams, on behalf of the Greek Orthodox people of New York City, and indeed the National Archdiocese of America, whose headquarters are not too far from here, allow me to express to you our gratitude and appreciation for the city's recognition of Greek Independence Day, March 25th, 1821. On Sunday, March the 30th, we shall once again march up Fifth Avenue with pride and with joy, waving the national banners of Greece and Cyprus. And we look forward to you joining us and the mighty Evzones. The Greeks of 2,500 years ago brought forth the concept of democracy to the world. And ever since, women and men of good courage and integrity have endeavored to perfect the democratic model of Athens. Today, we join hands with you to make of our city a better place for all its citizens, and we thank you for honoring the three exceptional individuals from our community. Our dear friend, the incomparable Margo Katsimatidis, Archon Dimitrios Kalamaras, and the Chancellor of our Archdiocese, His Grace Bishop Nectarios of Dioplia. In honoring them, you honor every Greek of New York, a proud community that is integral to the shape of this greatest of cities. Zito η Νέα Υόρκη, long live New York. Zito η Ελλάδα. My dear compatriots, please join me in welcoming the mayor of our great city, Eric Adams.
Yeah. Stay focused, no distractions, and grind. Stay focused, no distractions, and grind.
It is amazing when we come here year after year and celebrate the real presence and vibrancy that the Greek community has brought to this great city. And Your Eminence, I thank you for being here. We've walked side by side many times, not only at the parade, but on other crucial issues. And I thank all of you. This community has been extremely supportive throughout the years. From my days as Brooklyn Borough President, State Senator, and now here as the Mayor of the City of New York. The Athens of America, New York City. Largest Greek population in this country is right here in our city. And your presence here, you grace us in Gracie Mansion each year celebrating those from your communities who have contributed so much to this city. And I want to welcome all of our foreign dignitaries who are joining us tonight as we do this important celebration. Your presence and the Greek presence in the city is so significant across our whole city, from Bay Ridge to Brooklyn to Astoria and Manhattan. We got someone from Brooklyn. From the architect to the taverns to the literature in our schools, even our coffee cups is representative of your history here. Greek Americans and Greek New Yorkers have been shaping our city since 1844. And nothing personifies that more to me than the presence of our Greek law enforcement officers. Some of them are here tonight. They bring about the public safety in our city. And at the end of the month, the colorful display of culture and spirit and energy, we will walk together down Fifth Avenue to celebrate Greek Independence Day. Over 2 centuries ago, the spirit of the Greek people inspired the Western world when you rose up against the Ottoman Empire and continue to show you are resilient and you will never, never succumb to any form of tyranny. You gave us democracy and freedom. You gave us the spirit and energies. We've read from your scholars and we learned from your feats in medicine, and we will continue to be inspired from today for the great things that the Greek people have done to the city and this country. We're the greatest city on the globe because we have the greatest people on the globe. And this has been the spirit and energy of this administration, to bring about productivity, affordability, and make sure this is a place where we can raise healthy children and families. And so I thank you today as we celebrate Greek Independence Day and lift up our honorees who we will be supporting in this evening. Thank you so much.
Our first honoree is His Grace Bishop Nectarios of Dioclea. His Grace is the National Chancellor of the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese of America.
Mayor Adams, you honor us today in this great city. You open up your home for us. And when you honor me, you honor the church, you honor our Archbishop. For me, that's more important than anything else. I'm a native New Yorker. I grew up in New York. And I'm happy to call myself a New Yorker. And I'm proud because as Greeks, we contributed to this great city in many different ways, through infrastructure, through economy, through our working individuals coming from with nothing and assisting and helping this great city. So thank you for honoring me and honoring our Greek fellow citizens. And it's my pleasure to be here and to receive the honor. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, behind every great man is an even better woman. Our next honoree is not just an amazing woman. She is a philanthropist. She supports so many causes in the Greek community, and she is a brand new grandmother. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Margo Katzimatidis.
I don't travel without you, so come over here. So, I have this tiny, because they said 30 seconds, so I'll try to do it in 30 seconds. So, Honorable Mayor Adams, Your Eminence Archbishop Pietroforis, distinguished guests, fellow citizens, friends, and family, and I consider all of you family, because all Greeks and Greek Americans stick together. I would like to extend my gratitude to the mayor for this incredible honor. You know, this is the first time I'm ever on this stage, so I'm just saying, this is great. I accept it with great pride. So today we have gathered to celebrate the vibrant history of Greece and honor the sacrifices of those who fought for freedom for more than 200 years. It is a day of Greek national pride and heritage. I wish everyone a joyous, meaningful Greek Independence Day on March 25th. Live long, Greece, Zito Elas. Was that short enough or what? 20 seconds, I'm good. Thank you.
Our last honoree is a lifelong member of the Greek community, a longtime member of the Federation of Hellenic Societies, and the vice president of Holy Cross Greek Orthodox Church in Brooklyn, Mr. Demetrios Kalamaras.
Thank you, Margot, for shifting me what extra time you had. The Honorable Eric Adams, Mayor of the greatest city in the great state of New York, Your Eminence, Consul General of Greece, distinguished guests, fellow honorees, friends, on my personal behalf and on behalf of the great Greek American community of Brooklyn, the greatest borough and the people's capital of the world, I would like to thank our dear mayor and, of course, his friendly, courteous, patient, professional, and supportive staff, top to bottom. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for all you did to put this lovely event on for our community. I would also like to thank my beloved family, some of whom are here today. My mother, my wife, my brother, my children, my nieces, cousins, nephew, for their love and support and sacrifice for over 30 years that I have served as an unpaid volunteer. They still have those in the Greek community. Last week, Ido called me to ask me for what title I should put under my name. And I said, Ido, what do you mean by that? And he said, well, what do you call yourself? I said, besides dope in the mirror, I said, I didn't know much. I said, but put down Vice President of Holy Cross. But over these last 30 years, I've served as legal counsel to numerous Hellenic societies, on my parish's school board, parish council, twice as president and now VP of Holy Cross, festival chairman last year, co-chairman, sorry, George, and as a board member and president of the Incurable Illness Foundation, which is truly a wonderful foundation that supports handicapped children here in New York and in Greece. And that's probably the most important of all, thankfully, for helping people that cannot help themselves. And my local business improvement district, more recently, I thank this patriarch for elevating me to the status of Archon of the Ecumenical Patriarchate. And the first and only American-born president in the 80-year history of the Federation of Hellenic Societies, who hosts and sponsors the parade every year. We have with us our president, Dimos Yokis, and members of the board, Christina Kostakis, our secretary. And just so you know, my father, Sylogo Anavrati, is the oldest Greek-American society in the United States of America. And the first chairman of the parade was from Anavrati, or Barbas Kokos, if I get his name. My dear cousin, Dean Angelakis, who's not here today, but he's represented by Jerry Fragis, who's somewhere always in the room, gave my wife good advice when we were dating. He said, Dean goes to Yvonne, he said, look, if you really want to get serious with this guy, you got to appreciate that all the work that he does for the community is part of the package. So you either take it like that or walk away right now, because it's in his blood and you can't get rid of it. So thankfully, she tolerated me, and my kids do, so they have a little less of my time, a little less money, but whatever love I have, they have, as does my whole family. So I thank them dearly for that. And more importantly, for the lack of grinia. That's a Greek word, Mr. Mayor, that we'll discuss later. That's what the city council gives you, grinia. Right? To show you who Eric Adams is, speaking of this wonderful man to my right, I will give you one example of a few years ago while parish council president at Holy Cross. We were having some constant problems with our festival permit. Now, those who are in the Greek community know that without a festival, our churches, regrettably, half of them would close down. We need the festival income. It's a cultural event. It's a beautiful event. But the income generated is part and parcel of our annual budget. We're having problems with our permits. They were going to cut our blocks. They were going to cut our days. All our local politicians gave us lip service. Not one lifted a finger. They told us what not to do. A call was made to this gentleman. He not only came to our festival, he made phone calls, and every problem we had was cleared up. And since then, we've not had a problem. Mr. Mayor, you know, and many of you know, there was some concerted efforts to not have me come here today. But what you didn't know is that I called the mayor. I spoke to him directly. And I said, Mayor, stop taking my mother's calls. Every Wednesday, I'm compelled to get her an ice cream sundae for Carvel. Not only is Tom Carvel Greek, or he was Greek, but that 2-for-1, she can't beat that deal. So last night, I had to get her a vanilla sundae with caramel, and that's why she's here today. Thank you, Mom. And again, as is not my usual way, I will try to be brief. Mr. Mayor, what you might not know is that our Greek community lives by certain values, certain 3 key values. With this value pack as a community, here and all over the world, we thrive. Those values are not wealth, first and foremost. They're not fame, and they're not honor. In fact, our church and our ancient philosophers specifically warn over not having these 3 as our values, because they lead to ruin, if they're your only concern. The 3 most important values we have, and that if you live by these rules and these values, not only will your family life be best, the world will be best. And those 3 values are family, faith, and country. Οικογένεια, θρησκεία και πατρίδα. I was taught these values not in school, not in any book, but by the example of my hardworking and sacrificing grandparents, parents, aunts, uncles, and siblings. It was their actions and deeds that taught me these values, and that if you live by them, you may not be the wealthiest, smartest, the most successful person, but you will be the happiest, most loved, and hopefully most appreciated person. And that's why today, surrounded by all these blessed and wonderful people, I can say, like Lou Gehrig did a few years ago, hopefully I won't have the end that he had, that today I'm the most fortunate and blessed guy in town. So, Mr. Mayor, while I cannot give you our faith, because we have appropriate people to pass on the meaning of our faith to you, but on behalf of our community, I can give you our love, which our Savior teaches us is, in fact, our faith. But what I can give you tangible today is a bit of the 2 remaining golden values, which are better than any gold that can be found on earth. I was told by my parents, when you're invited to someone's house, you should bring them something as a token of your appreciation. So what I give to you today, Mr. Mayor, is a mug that we had made for Christmas. And that mug is my mother, her siblings, and her parents in a picture taken around 1950, before my grandfather, my uncle, and later my mother came to America. This is after the Second World War, after the Greek Civil War, after the defeat of communism, and this is a family that was taking a memorial photo before they started leaving to come to this country. So when you drink your coffee in the morning or whatever you have in the morning, don't think of my family, think of a Greek-American family that came here. All 6 siblings came here, all had families here, all succeeded right here in Brooklyn and right here in New York. The second gift that I give you is from my father's side of the family. My grandfather first came here in 1916 and fought in the First War. In America, went back to Greece, got married. Now, my mom was just south of Sparta, and my dad was just up in the hills looking over Sparta. So this is olive oil, the greatest Greek gold, the greatest gold on earth from my father's farms, which were his father's farms. And my father used to say, a Greek will not go to any land where you cannot grow an olive. Why? Because you can eat the olive, you can put the olive as oil, and the olive will give you light when you light the candle with olive, with the wick. So the olive was important to the Greek community, and it still is to ours to this day. Okay. Now, we're talking about now. So, Mr. Mayor, I'll leave you with one last thing. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the last thing. This is the last thing. All right? And this is to give him a little. Greece founded democracy, and where there is democracy, there are politics. And the mayor, for better or for worse, in the game you're in, politics are part of it. The ancients said we are a social and political animal. So, Mr. Mayor, I'll leave you this one last thing, a story and a lesson from ancient Sparta, as a matter of fact. I'll paraphrase because I'm adjusting the story just a little bit. There was a king from the Northlands, maybe near Albany, but somewhere up there, who had a son that talked a lot. And that son and the father were, most especially the son more recently, wanted to take over Sparta in the south. And they reached out to the Spartan king, who they say his name was Iraklis Adamakos. I'm not sure if that was his name, but we're going to call him that for now. Now, this guy from up north, the prince, was making alliances all around Eric's property, trying to squeeze in and trying to pressure him out. But Eric wouldn't hold, he held on firm. So when the loud priest sent a message down to him, to the Spartan leader, Eric, and he said, if I decide to attack you. He said, if I decide to attack you, if I am victorious, I will erase you from the political map. After some deliberation, the brave mayor, leader of Sparta, responded very laconic with one word, if. If. So, Mr. Mayor, we thank you for your service, and we know that we will be by your side in all your continued good efforts for the betterment of the people of the city of New York. I thank you for this great honor. I thank you all for coming. Zito Elada. God bless America. And we'll see you all. John Subakis, our parade chairman, we'll see you all Sunday on 5th Avenue. 1:30 for the greatest parade, the greatest beautiful parade on 5th Avenue. And the mayor will be there with us. Mr. Mayor, thank you so much.
I'm not trying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stay focused, no distractions, and grind. Stay focused, no distractions, and grind.
There are only two types